Hello, this is Sarah Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about how the Hollywood elites are the literal dregs of society. And I, in particular, want to talk about Sarah Silverman, the comedian, and also Patricia Arquette, the actress. But I'm also going to talk about Shonda Rhimes, the Hollywood mogul, of course. And many others. There's too many because there's hardly a blue check mark Twitter public figure, Hollywood entertainment public figure of epic proportions who did not try to drive me to suicide and incite Twitter mob after Twitter mob against me and participate in the global vilification and defamation campaign against me. So what I want to start off by saying is that it is so brave. You are so brave, you Hollywood elites, to sacrifice yourselves. You're making such an extraordinary sacrifice to victimize a poor, middle-aged white woman with no money, no influence, no power, no Twitter followers, with mental health disabilities, who was living like a hermit at the top of a tower, like Rapunzel, at the top of a tower on Yale's campus, and who wanted only in life to be left alone to complete her Saving the World project. And you all knew that the Living or Napping While Black hate crime hoax at Yale, that the video that Lolata Siambola took of me, that was the grossest violation of my privacy, on May 8th, 2018, was part of a campaign to publicly shame me for my mental health disabilities, because nothing could be more obvious from the video itself. So you knew, and don't even pretend like you didn't know what you were doing. Don't even pretend like you're not the elitist monsters, just like the Yale administration and the Yale student body and the Yale police, who not only condoned but encouraged a group of black students at Yale to terrorize me in my isolated dorm room for months, to stalk me across campus, and to target me based upon my mental health disabilities, based upon my lower socioeconomic class status, based upon my age, based upon my sex, and yes, based upon my race, because I'm a white woman. Don't even pretend like you don't know that that's what you were participating in. Don't even pretend. You're so brave, you're such social justice heroes, you're such social justice warriors, you're such civil rights icons to destroy the life and lifelong human and civil rights, academic and legal careers of a well-documented lifelong anti-racism activist. You're so brave. It's so brave of you. It's so brave of you. And I particularly want to call out Sarah Silverman, because her efforts on behalf of social justice and trying to drive me to suicide on Twitter are just par none. You might be confused. You might be a little bit confused because we're both named Sarah, but in fact, she's the Sarah who has actually donned blackface, and she's the Sarah who has told countless racist jokes. I'm the Sarah who is a well-documented lifelong human and civil rights activist who used her JD to move to France and spend days sitting in government offices in Paris to help African women immigrants and their children get visas to live in France without being discriminated against. You might be a little bit confused about that because we're both named Sarah. She's the Sarah with 12 million Twitter followers who's trying to drive the Sarah with virtually no Twitter followers to suicide on Twitter. Extraordinary social justice effort. Kudos to you, Sarah Silverman. Kudos to you. I can only hope to be as brave as you one day. I can only hope to be as brave as you one day and to sacrifice myself for social justice in the same way that you have sacrificed yourself for social justice by trying to drive a middle-aged, poor, white woman with mental health disabilities to suicide on Twitter. Extraordinary, extraordinary effort. Kudos to you. Great job. Great job, Sarah Silverman. Excellent, excellent. And she actually had the temerity, actually had the gall to post Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's ridiculous LA Times op-ed about me that was mounted to a death threat, was more or less a death threat. And she had the temerity to post that on Twitter and then to also post a quote from him about the banality of evil. Well, I want you to know, Sarah Silverman, that you personify, you are the avatar of the banality of evil, because there can be no better definition of the banality of evil than someone who perpetuates an obvious hate crime hoax at Yale that was very obviously a campaign to publicly shame a middle-aged, poor white woman with mental health disabilities for her mental health disabilities by grossly violating her privacy. There just really isn't a better description of the banality of evil, especially when this is someone who has been demonized for being unwoke simply because she holds civil libertarian views and she is a well-documented lifelong anti-racism activist and lifelong human and civil rights activist. Kudos. Excellent work. You are a social justice warrior. You are a social justice hero par none. Par none. Same goes for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, of course, and also for Patricia Arquette. Patricia Arquette, brilliant. Brilliant work personifying the banality of evil. Brilliant work. Excellent. I can only hope to be as brave as you one day and to sacrifice myself for social justice in the way that you have. Of course, Patricia Arquette participated in inciting a Twitter mob against me and trying to drive me to suicide on Twitter with Josie Duffy Rice of The Appeal. It was on Josie Duffy Rice's Twitter feed that Patricia Arquette participated in this. Patricia Arquette, really brilliant social justice work, just par none. Excellent, excellent social justice work. You are a true social justice hero to try to drive me to suicide. Excellent work. I mean, you just really personify what it means to be an elitist monster and to victimize someone and to punch down. Excellent work. Just par none. Great job. So I just really, and I mean, the list could go on. I could go on forever, basically. Shonda Rhimes. I could just go on forever. There's hardly Deborah Messing. There's hardly a blue checkmark faux Twitter activist that didn't participate in the global vilification and defamation campaign against me when all these idiots had to do was Google my bloody name and they would have known immediately that I'm a lifelong human and civil rights activist and anti-racism activist who would never engage in racist behavior in a million years. So truly, all these Hollywood elites, they all know. And I absolutely believe that at this point, I believe that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was coerced into writing what amounted to a death threat against me and publishing it in the LA Times and the New York Times. I believe that. I believe he was very likely coerced by Barack Obama and Joe Biden into writing that. I do. He seemed extremely uncomfortable in his media appearances about the op-ed, and I believe now that he was probably coerced into writing it, and I am being targeted. I've addressed this in other videos, but I am absolutely being targeted because the woke intersectional feminist political left and the Democrats and Joe Biden see me as a direct threat to their tyrannical woke agenda. So, and also Jimmy Kimmel too participated recently in the global vilification and defamation campaign against me. Excellent work. Excellent work. You're a horrible person. Congratulations. You're truly evil. And all of these basically just the worst dregs of society, these Hollywood elites, they couldn't care less. They couldn't care less about black people. They couldn't care less about black people. They care about their money and their mansions. And this is why they have no problem destroying the Living While Black movement by turning it into a blood sport targeting vulnerable white women as collective punishment for Trump and for moral outrage industry profit and gain. They're just presenting themselves as these woke intersectional feminists when truly they couldn't even care less. They couldn't care less. All they care about is money. And please know that. Please know that. These are the worst people in the world. And if they all knew what was good for them, they would all just keep their mouths shut at this point. They would all, and I'm exposing all of you. I'm exposing all of you for the monsters that you are. So enjoy. Enjoy. You have been exposed. You will be exposed. I'm going to continue to expose you for the monsters that you are. Okay, thank you so much. Please support me and please donate to my GoFundMe and my PayPal me below so that I can sue Yale and the entire moral outrage industry and all of these idiots on Twitter who are pretending like they care about black people and in fact all they care about is making money. Okay, thank you. Have a great night.